We've traveled coast to coast to bring you the behind the scenes of the biggest award show of the year.
We're talking about the Super Bowl of the entertainment industry, the Academy Awards.
WEBN's All Access Oscar Special starts now.
Welcome to WEBN's All Access Oscar Special. I'm Anaritas Rodriguez.
And I'm Kayla Harrity. We've left the winter coats and cold weather behind for our Oscar gowns in California sunshine.
Someone else who left the East Coast winter for a hot Hollywood career is Henry Winkler.
And of course, we know him as the Fonz. Justine Frostad sat down with the Hollywood legend for the inside scoop on the Academy Awards. Justine?
Because Henry Winkler is a member of the Academy, he gets to vote on the winners. He gave me an all-access pass to his Oscar predictions.
I think that Annette Bening should get the Best Actress. I think that Christian Bale should win for a transformational performance.
The Social Network is another one of Winkler's favorite flicks of the year. He claimed the movie has no target audience because of how well it was written, and Winkler believes writing is the key to any great film.
Writing is the beginning and the end. If it is not on the page, it's not on the stage.
A well-written screenplay can make it easier for actors to do their job, but Winkler says it's important for actors to have formal training in order to make a good performance great.
It is up to you as a human being to make sure that you reinvent yourself so that you continue. No one is going to do that for you. The training gives you the foundation on which to stand.
Winkler described many of this year's nominated films as candid reflections of real life. Winkler said this is a pleasant change from the average modern movie, which makes love and life look easy.
When you're lying in the field and you're having a picnic and the girl puts her head on your tummy, can I tell you, after a little while it gets really heavy. And you're thinking, oh my God, will she please move? Oh, I can't, oh, I'm getting really, this is hurting. It's not like in the movies where they're lying together. It's just fantastic. You know, unless of course you like the situation where you've got abs that can like support the head for a long time. Head's heavy.
No matter if your film is a romance or a thriller, Winkler says when you're nominated for an Oscar, you want to win.
When your tush hits the seat, you want to win.
Win or lose, Winkler is inspired by many of the nominated films and performances.
When you see something that really hums, that sings off the screen, I envy the people that were part of that project.
This industry legend has been in the spotlight for over 4 decades, and he's not done yet. He will soon start acting in the new feature film, Here Comes the Boom. Back to you on the red carpet.
Thanks, Justine. The Oscars are all about the stars, the fashion, and the parties. So sometimes those who work the hardest often go unnoticed.
But we're not going to let that happen. Chad Boyle spoke with two of the most important people behind this year's Oscars. Chad?
This year, the moving sets and automation will take center stage. Academy President Tom Sherak and set director Joe Celli are bringing a new theme to this year's show. It's called Glam.
The designer was looking to do something a little more glam versus glamorous. And if you think of glamorous, you think of sort of old Hollywood. Glam is a much more young take on it, and James and Ann, I think, certainly bring that to this show.
Academy President Tom Sherak agrees that glam represents young, talented Hollywood. Sherak and Joe Celli are also trying to incorporate more automation and high-tech computer techniques than previous Oscar ceremonies.
There's a lot more automation on our set this year than ever before. We rely on, computers and motors to drive all of our scenery out on stage, and that's not something we've used in the past, primarily because it's a live show and God forbid something were to go wrong.
What does it take to put the show together? Sherak says Oscar producers who help put the show together need to have an idea about the Academy's goal.
For somebody that understands the Academy, who has an understanding of the history of the Academy.
Sherak says another change in the production of this year's show is that the Oscar winners can get their plates printed right onto their Oscar. In previous years, they had to send them away. This year, they will also be showing the process on Oscar.com.
It used to be that after you won, because the statuette doesn't have a name on it, You used to bring the statuette in a couple days or a week later, and we would send it out and put on. Now you go upstairs, and we have a area where Oscar is dressed with your plate.
It's evident that no decision has been rushed in the planning of the big show. Both men have been meeting together since July. Back to you, Kayla and Harrity.
Thanks, Chad. Harrity, I know you're quite the foodie, so you've probably wondered what the chef would be preparing for this year's ball.
Well, that's true, but I'm not wondering anymore. That's because I got a sneak peek at this year's menu. Wolfgang Puck let me cook, he let me taste, and I must say those attending the ball will not be disappointed.
It's the Hollywood bash of the year, so it's only fitting the food will be just as Oscar-worthy. Wolfgang Puck gave us an exclusive demo on how you can make your Oscar party your town's Hollywood hit. Puck's theme this year is seafood. The Austrian-American chef even did a take on the lobster roll, but added the LA twist and made lobster tacos.
We help you guys in Boston, so we brought in a lot of lobster, shrimps,
Yes,
mussel,
flush the money
clam.
into the economy,
I
right?
know, I hear
We
you
need
need the
it.
money over there.
Grab your pots and heat up your stoves. Here's a look at how to make paella Wolfgang style.
Here we start with the paella. So we have a little paella pan here. We put a little oil in the
Yeah.
pan. And then we're gonna start with a little onions. Some finely chopped onions here.
Make sure your stove's not on high. You don't want to burn it.
Well, you don't want to burn it, but you want to saute that a little bit. A little pepper for color, so it looks a little Spanish already.
If you're looking at this, it smells delicious. I wish they can smell it
Well,
through the camera.
All right, come over here and take a close up. All right, now look at that. See, now we are talking.
Beautiful colors.
A little garlic, and now a little bit of saffron. And if you want at home, you don't want to make the fish or whatever, you can throw in a little chicken, a little shrimp, a little sausage.
Make your own combination.
Make your own combination.
Now, when do you add the rice? How do
Now-
you make it nice and moist?
Okay, so now we're gonna put a little salt and pepper. If you like it spicy, a little chili flakes, and now we're gonna add the rice.
Do you need to soak this beforehand? No.
We don't soak the rice, nothing. Now, you don't need too much rice because you want to eat the shrimp also, so you don't want it to overflow. So put a little rice, maybe 1 more tablespoon here. That's fine, here. And now we're gonna put a little bit of white wine in here. So the same white wine you drink, like I like yogurt, it's one of my favorite. You add that.
Beautiful. Now, what inspired you to create this dish this year?
Well, I always think, what can we do different and what can we do where we can serve it really hot? So we're gonna actually serve 1,600 of these little pots.
Wow, that's
It was
a lot.
inspired by the Black Swan, so we have a little black casserole here. And now we're gonna add a little stock here. So you have to add stock if you have chicken stock or shrimp stock, whatever you have at home, to give it flavor. You don't want it to be with water.
And this is what actually makes the rice nice and moist.
Yeah, so now we have to put it in the oven. We're gonna stir it together a little bit. Okay. And here we have a few vegetables, some sauteed green onions, peas, some green beans, whatever you have at home, or just a little asparagus. You decide what you like the best. Maybe if you get a few tomatoes, you can throw a few tomatoes on here. It always looks nice.
And for those who are vegan or vegetarian, they can make it all vegetables.
Exactly. Natalie Portman is a vegan vegetarian, so we're gonna make your one only with vegetable stock and lots of vegetables
So you
in
do
here.
cater to the population of actors that
We-
are vegetarian.
We do something for everybody.
That looks delicious.
So you can see the rice is nice and fluffy. Look at that.
The colors are beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I give it a try?
Yeah, sure. Let's first
Hey.
taste it and see if it's cooked here.
I like how you taste.
Almost
You taste with
ready,
your
yeah.
hands.
So you we put a
That's
little
delicious.
chili flake, a little spicy.
But this isn't the first time Puck has cooked this dish. The Academy got a preview of his menu weeks before the show.
It's really a last-minute thing. Even we serve 1,600 people, but we don't think in August or September what we're gonna do in February for the Oscars. We really think a month before.
And when the cooking mitts are off and the food is served, you can find Puck on the floor mingling with guests and enjoying the ball.
At 11:30, I finish. I go outside, talk to some of my friends, like Jeff Bridges and so on. We have a lot of people who we know for many years. And then I sit down and open a bottle of Krug champagne, and that's it.
The food was spectacular. Even though I don't eat beef, I had to have a taste of that Kobe burger. You only get one chance to be in the kitchen with Wolfgang Puck.
I'm jealous. I wish you had saved me one of those Kobe burgers.
I'm sorry, but they were not passing out any extras.
Okay, you're off the hook. So once the show's done, it's time for us to party. Do you think we can sneak into the governor's ball?
Don't count on that, but Kate Andrews did get a behind-the-scenes look at the biggest party of the year. Kate?
Event planner Cheryl Chiquetto gave me the all-access pass to Oscar's official after-party. The ambiance and decor of this star-studded bash is not your average party.
Everyone that comes in the door to me as a VIP, as a celebrity, I don't see people as being celebrities. I see them all being guests. I think I'd like them to come in and say, oh, wow, I'm in my own place now. I'm at the governor's ball.
And what a party she's got planned. Taking her cue from iconic Hollywood clubs from the 1940s and 50s, Chiquetto's vision is a luxurious oasis for Hollywood's elite.
Our theme is what I think is our interpretation of a modern-day Macambo or Copacabana.
That's because Jeffrey Kurland, who is an Oscar-nominated costume designer and the ball's chair, wanted 3 phases of music. The night will begin with classical music, then move to swing complete with a big band, and finish off with a Latin sound.
I've decided to use Old Hollywood as really the mission statement, and use Copacabana and the Macambo as the starting point to create what I think, again, is a fabulous club for the governors.
And then there's the decadent palm tree in the center of the room.
I really was inspired to create what you see behind me with this huge, massive centerpiece, and the Swarovski crystals are the trunk of our governor's ball, El Macambo palm tree.
And she hopes that everyone will enjoy the lavish affair she has mapped out.
I see everybody coming in and, drinking and having a great time and eating.
After the show ends, the party begins. So after all of her hard work, Cheryl Chiquetto is looking forward to relaxing underneath that palm tree. Back to you, Kayla and Anaritis.
Thanks, Kate. This party is a getaway for celebrities who are used to the LA scene.
Stay tuned because the Hub is Going Hollywood. We'll bring you exclusive interviews with the Beantown nominees.
There's still more to come on WEBN's all-access Oscars special.
Now filming a pilot
awards in all different cities, and then challenge me. I'm a superstar. You don't live.
Welcome back to WEBN's all-access Oscars special. We are switching gears and heading east. This year, the dirty water has taken over.
3 Massachusetts blockbusters have the golden ticket into this year's show. The Fighter, The Social Network, and The Town were all shot in Boston and have received multiple nominations.
Justine Frostad went from the red carpet to the boxing ring to give us an exclusive with one of those nominated films. Justine?
The Fighter brings boxing to the big screen, but it's not just about the big fight. The movie is about family struggles and love. I sat down with the Fighter's infamous family.
Each of us have our own individual identity, but yet still kind of bring it together as a group.
Melissa McMeekin played one of the sisters in The Fighter. She says the actors not only had to take on the personalities of the sisters, but they also had to take on their appearances.
I actually, believe it or not, was one of the more pulled-together sisters. I got to wear a little lipstick, and I got to wear heels to the boxing gym.
The sisters who played the tough, gritty women have been critically acclaimed for their natural chemistry and stark dynamic. Jenna Lamia plays another one of the tough sisters. Lamia says when she arrived on the set, most of the other actors had already started to transform.
It was like a group of, 5 girls with bleach blonde hair, and some of them really have an authentic Boston accent, so it was like, how you doing? Welcome, we're all here.
Erica McDermott says the casting director doubted her ability to step into the tough girl role.
And when the casting director got to me, she said that she thought I might be too pretty or not tough enough. And so I got in her face and started swearing and told her to give me a part in the movie.
McDermott was cast and the chemistry followed. She says the chemistry was instant with her on-screen mother, Melissa Leo.
Either we did the read-through, Melissa Leo walked in. I had never met her before in my life. She walked in and looked at me and said, "Hey, you, get your elbows off the table." She was my mother from the second I met her, right up until the last time I saw her at the SAG Awards.
Jack McGee plays the father of Mickey Ward and his sisters.
I met George Ward. I did spend an hour with him one day and then a couple hours another day. Just get an idea and a bit of the flavor as to what his role was within the family. And he pretty much told me, as I had thought, his main objective was to stay out of the way.
The sisters in The Fighter definitely didn't stay out of the way like their father. Lamia says seeing the real family interact naturally was the best research she could have asked for.
Mickey and Dickie gave us their sisters' numbers. We called them up. They were so excited. They said, actually, we're out having a drink. Come meet us. It happened to be that Sherry, the one I was playing, and Gail, Red Dog, the one Dundry was playing, were hanging out. And we drove around and found them in my little rental car. They were so welcoming. They let us into their living room. We stood around in their kitchen talking for over an hour, and I have never had an experience like that.
The Fighter gave the other films a 1-2 punch with its 7 nominations. The city of Lowell will be watching the Oscars to see if it gets the Hollywood recognition it deserves. Back to you, Kayla and Anna Rittis.
Thanks, Justine. And now the cameras turn across the Charles River to the prestigious Harvard University for The Social Network.
It seems the film is just as popular as Facebook. It has earned nominations in 8 categories.
Brittany Berkowitz breaks down the Ivy League scandal surrounding Facebook. Brittany?
The movie was filled with the perfect combination of love, betrayal, and brains. Let's check out the work that went into the movie.
Eduardo Saverin shows up and he's angry. He's been betrayed by his friend. He hates Mark Zuckerberg. He was telling me this whole story about how he had been screwed out of Facebook. And I had never heard any of this, and I was kind of blown away by it.
Facebook's origins are revealed in Ben Mesrick's book called The Accidental Billionaires. However, the story hit the silver screen thanks to Trigger Street Productions.
What attracted me to the idea of the story was there is this phenomenon of Facebook that we have, but this detail of it that no one really knew how it started.
The film's producer, Dana Brunetti, says the movie's muscle isn't the media site itself, but the story behind it.
It could have been about the invention of the automobile or of the toaster, and it still would have been just as intriguing.
This idea is potentially worth millions of dollars. Millions!
Whether the members involved with the social network worked behind the scenes or in front of the camera, they knew they were dealing with a project much bigger than themselves.
That's what's so powerful about this movie, is that no matter what the truth is, it's going to be forever, it's going to seal in people's minds in some form that this is what happened.
It didn't hurt that the film had the dynamic duo David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin working together to create the movie.
I thought about it, I just thought, that's a no-brainer, you have to be part of this. And once I'd read the script, I knew when I read the script, and with the team of people that they'd assembled, when you've got that writer and that director, I mean, come on, you'd have to be an absolute fool to not want to be a part of that.
I don't know if you heard about this new website I launched.
No.
The Facebook.
Pence wasn't the only one who believed in the film. Those who were involved from the beginning were convinced that it was gold.
I can't wait to see Sorkin go up and get an Oscar, which I think is going to be the ultimate moment for me as an author, to see your book end up winning someone an Oscar.
I came out and I'm like, wow, that's really good. And I turned to Kevin, I'm like, am I crazy, or is that a really good movie? And he told me then, which I thought he was crazy, because if you're not nominated for an Oscar, he goes, I'll be surprised.
Just like they say in the movie, you'd rather catch a big fish than a lot of little ones. And it looks like The Social Network may be a 3,000-pound marlin. What's the word on your end of the carpet?
It's true, Brittany, The Social Network has captivated audiences all over the world. But now we're going from Cambridge to Charlestown, where Ben Affleck directed his blockbuster hit, The Town. It is a flick that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats.
The actors from The Town play gunslinging bank robbers with creative costuming. Kate Andrews spoke with some of the actors who pretend to be these Boston-based criminals. Kate?
Fenway Park is the backdrop for the climax of this Oscar-nominated movie. The film makes any bank owner question their security.
It was crazy because when I grew up, maybe the second or third job I had was as a vendor at Fenway Park, so I never thought I'd be shooting an AK-47 in Fenway.
That's rapper-actor Slane, who plays Albert Glonsey McGlone in The Town. And as you can hear, he is a native Bostonian. It was that accent that local casting director Carol Pickman was looking for.
My staff and I did a lot of going into the neighborhoods. We held 4 or 5 open casting calls just looking for neighborhood people with authentic Boston accents. It came down to also looking for Charlestown people. So we were always in Charlestown.
And that's how she found Owen Burke, who played Desmond Eldon and completed the bank robbing quartet.
I went to an open casting call for The Town with no acting background. I just kind of went to see what would happen.
And though he was a bit intimidated acting next to heavy hitters like Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner, Burke admits it was the Beantown bond with Slane that helped him adjust.
Slane made my experience on set a lot more relaxed, just because me and him have so much in common about like growing up in Boston, not the same way maybe other people sort of came into movies, where I'd say we're definitely more like just like your average Boston guy, just struggling along in the city, you know, not really like Hollywood people. So I hit it off with him. We knew a lot of the same people from growing up.
One thing he didn't have to worry about was helping out his co-stars with their Boston accents.
Those guys, they had it all down.
The Boston accents in the town seem Oscar-worthy, and maybe one of the reasons why it's up for Hollywood's top award. Jeremy Renner is up for Best Supporting Actor, and his Boston accent is wicked real. Back to you, Eneritis and Kayla.
Thanks, Kate. An interesting bit is that Jeremy Renner visited local bars to hone his Boston accent.
So if you want to hone your skills in predicting the future, you may want to talk to Ben Lyons, because the nominations are in and the bets are on.
He's E! Entertainment's resident critic and go-to expert on all things Oscars. Brittany Berkowitz coaxed him into giving her this year's winners.
Ben Lyons actually made me question my original Oscar picks. I wish I'd waited until after the interview to place my bets.
You have biopics like The King's Speech and 127 Hours and The Social Network and The Fighter. You have big studio films like Toy Story and Inception, and indies like Kids Are All Right and Winter's Bone. So a nice selection of films and performances being honored this year.
We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their subconscious.
When it comes to movies, Ben Lyons knows what makes the Academy roar. While fans try to predict which flicks will pull in the most Oscar votes, the E! News film correspondent says you can't always go by the Globes.
The Social Network was the early favorite, came out the gate winning all the critics awards in all different cities, and then you had the Golden Globes. And Golden Globes used to be the kind of the real precursor to the Oscars, and now I think it's lost that.
Get up, you can't sit there, get up! Why not? Chair.
This award season, Ben bets on biopic The King's Speech to be crowned Best Picture.
It's got 12 nominations, supporting noms for Jeffrey Rush and Helena Bonham Carter, and Firth is a lock for Best Actor. Tom Hooper probably right now the favorite for Best Director. King's Speech is just that Academy-friendly movie, plays to a little bit older audience than The Social Network does.
Lyons didn't dance around his pick for Best Actress.
Performance of the year is Natalie Portman. Yeah, a man or woman. I thought what she did with that role, it was iconic. Like she exposed an audience that might not be familiar with the world of ballet to the hardships that ballerinas face.
With outlandish films like Black Swan scoring nominations, this Oscar season draws attention to more boundary-breaking movies than previous years.
Well, Christopher Nolan definitely deserved it. He's right up there with Fincher as the guys who are pushing big films and pushing these commercialized movies forward and doing them in an artistic way.
This year, the Academy has an eclectic selection of films, bringing young Hollywood into the old film tradition of the Oscars.
This year, I thought they got it for the most part right. I mean, Franco is terrific in 127 Hours. It's fitting he hosts. It's a good time for him to host. And the whole show just feels like very contemporary. A lot of young Hollywood there. Jennifer Lawrence, Haley Steinfeld, Eisenberg. I mean, it's a cool year for young Hollywood.
I'm the one fighting, okay? Not you, and not you.
We'll see if his predictions come true this Oscar season. Back to you.
Well, you know, not only do film critics bank on their predictions, so do nominees and past winners.
Oscar winner F. Murray Abraham spoke with Justine Frostad about his own Oscar and his favorite flicks.
F. Murray Abraham sure knows a lot about the media biz, and as soon as nominations were announced, he was playing the prediction game.
I've done a lot of plays by Ethan Coen, and I'm loyal to them, so I'm pulling for their picture.
Oscar winner F. Murray Abraham is also pulling for the dynamic Lowell family of The Fighter to win an Oscar.
And I liked that picture a lot, and I liked those women as a family unit. They were terrific, and Christian was terrific.
Since Abraham has walked the carpet as a nominee, he thinks Christian Bale and the other nominated stars will feel the same way as they approach the Kodak Theater.
It's a state of grace. What they're doing is feeling, I'm going to be nice to everybody. I'm going to be just so nice. I'm going to be so nice and happy. And oh gosh, please let me have this. Let me get this. Let me get this.
The actor won his Academy Award for his performance in Amadeus. He says he is inspired by his fellow artists.
The real influence is the great actors that I've seen and the great books I've read.
And Abraham has done a lot with his talent. He has made countless appearances on screen and on stage. His work ranges from Shakespearean plays to Scarface to Star Trek Insurrection. He says no matter what role he is playing, he approaches the work the same way.
The truth is the truth. That's what you always search for. I mean, really, you do. Whether it's comedy or tragedy, or it's just looking for the truth.
No matter what the truth might be, Abraham needs his heartstrings to be tugged in order to think a film is Oscar-worthy.
I want to laugh, I want to cry, I want to have a good time, I want to be moved, I want to be touched.
So for anyone looking to break into the business, Abraham has some advice.
Don't be afraid.
I haven't been placing bets, but I do have my own predictions in mind. But no one really knows until the envelope is opened. Back to you on the red carpet.
Now that you've had a look into our hometown and the Oscar predictions, it's time to take a break.
Fashionista Tim Gunn will show you how to make it work.
And you'll see how intestines are made. Well, at least for the big screen.
Be on your game.
I mean, if you reflect on...
This one's also one of the...
Welcome back to WEBN's All Access Oscar Special.
Anna Rittis, what do you think of when you hear the words blood, intestines, and severed heads?
That you may be watching way too many horror flicks.
Close, but I was leaning more towards special effects. Victoria Berglund visited special effects technician Matt Corrigan in his workshop. Victoria?
Matt Corrigan sure knows how to create lifelike props, and he even let me get my hands dirty.
Beginning of sophomore year, I did a really small sci-fi, I guess, thriller where someone got burned and then had to eat their own leg. So I started doing some special effects makeup for that, and the second I started, I was hooked.
Matt Corrigan does special effects makeup and props for films and television shows. One of his most recent projects was working on horses for the Oscar-nominated film True Grit.
For True Grit, I think we made 2 different skins, horse skins for that. I think one was Jeff Bridges' horse, and one was Blackie, which was the little girl.
Corrigan's favorite part of his job is the end product.
I can show you I made that. That was in my hand at one point. I love that. That's so cool.
Now it's time to see Corrigan take the work from his hands and put it into mine.
All you need for intestines is liquid latex, and there's a bunch of different kinds. Take a piece of paper towel, roll it up, dip in there, and just paint it doesn't have to be perfect, but just a slathering on there. Now you paint on that. Perfect.
I learned the way they do it on the inside. Corrigan took me through the process of making bloody intestines and torn flesh. This is awesome. Before we wrapped, he told me how to make a few other props, and I even got to try out a horse from True Grit. I had the guts to learn, but this job takes brains, and that's where Corrigan comes in.
Well, that's the thing. As long as someone thinks that looks real.
Creating those special effects is more challenging than it seems, and it can get really messy. I can tell from working with Matt that it takes a lot of patience. Back to you, Kayla and Anna Rittis.
Thanks, Victoria. Now we've taken a look at the movies, but what about the fashion?
Who better than Mr. Fashionista to tell us how to make it work? Katie Bryant found out how to do it from Tim Gunn himself. Katie?
On Project Runway, Tim Gunn helps designers tap into their creativity. But here on the red carpet, he'll be telling us what works and what hurts.
Tim Gunn has traded the design studios of Project Runway for a different kind of catwalk, the Oscars red carpet. He's one of the 4 co-hosts of the Oscars pre-show.
Robin Roberts, yes, absolutely, from Good Morning America, and Maria Menounos from Access Hollywood, and we have Krista Smith from Vanity Fair magazine, the West Coast editor. It's an incredible group, and what I love about the 4 of us is that we each come from a different place, and we're all so different. So in terms of covering the red carpet for the official pre-show, you couldn't have more diversity. It's fantastic.
In addition to being the famous face of Project Runway, Gunn is also the chief creative officer for Liz Claiborne. While television reporting isn't his occupation, Tim Gunn says he's no stranger to the red carpet.
I've done red carpet reportage before, a number of times before, and I get to do it being me. I don't have to pretend to be anybody else, so that gives me a level of comfort being here.
And he's not intimidated by his famous co-hosts.
Maria Menounos is Maria Menounos. I couldn't possibly be her. I don't think she'd want to be me.
Tim Gunn will critique the stars' ensembles as they walk the red carpet. And unlike some award shows, the Oscars is fashion's big night out.
If the other red carpet shows are considered weddings, this is a coronation. And people really care about how they look here because they're under, in many ways, more scrutiny than they are with any other red carpet. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure to look fabulous.
Red carpet outfits can be hit or miss, but Gunn says catering to your personal style is always carpet chic.
For me, the clothes are always about how they appear on the women, or men for that matter.
His prediction for what the stars will be wearing is to expect the unexpected. Tim Gunn will make the best dressed list, but will the stars? We will soon find out. Back to you.
Thanks, Katie. The red carpet runway is one of the best parts of the evening.
And Kate Andrews visited the studio of a designer who hopes one of her gowns makes it to the carpet.
The Oscar Design Challenge adds a Project Runway aspect to the Academy Awards. I spoke with a designer who hopes to see one of her creations in the spotlight.
Well, when I think about Oscars, I definitely, first of all, the red carpet influences regular fashion. It influences what everybody wears. Everybody looks at the Oscars. Yeah, they want to see who won, but they love to see the red carpet because that is, you know, the pinnacle of fashion.
That is Natalia Romano, one of the final 9 contestants of the Oscar Design Challenge. The contest allows one up-and-coming designer to show off their work on an Oscar escort. She explained her reaction to the call from the Academy Awards.
Oscar Designer Challenge, that was really exciting to me because I had received a phone call from a woman named Toni Pickett, who I did not know was the producer of the Oscars Designer Challenge. And she said that she had called all the schools from all over the country and they asked for their top alum, and I guess they got my number.
Romana submitted the maximum of 5 designs and admits she wasn't surprised when she made it into the top 9.
It felt really amazing. I mean, I was very confident when I sent in my sketches. I sent them in to win that challenge. So I was surprised, but I was kind of expecting to be phone called back.
In her designs, Romana looked to the past for inspiration.
Yeah, I definitely always get inspired by all the old Hollywood actresses. They used to wear the most amazing things, and it's nice to be able to see that still on the red carpet, and to try to bring that back in my dress was exciting to me too.
Award season is a busy time for fashion designers, and come time for the big show, no hem goes unstitched. Back to you.
Thanks, Kate. And not only do the stars need help getting ready for the Oscars, so do the Oscar statues themselves.
Who knew that those statues could be such divas? Those gold spray tans can get pricey.
Chad Boyle spoke to the woman who revamps Oscar's wardrobe. Chad?
Each year, scenic designer Dina D'Angelo's team can be seen giving Oscar a fresh coat of paint. Her team can be seen working around the clock here on the red carpet.
It's quite a process. We refurbish them in the fall, and then we spend a week here making everything look beautiful. Well, we do repairs on anything that's a nick, and then we do probably about 4 to 6 coats of paint.
Usually it takes D'Angelo 2 weeks in the fall and then the week right before the ceremony to get everything looking just right. She doesn't just paint the Oscars on the red carpet. Her and her team are also responsible for the bandstands and other signs around the red carpet.
It's anything on here that's a scenic element. Like the other day I was under that big round sign over there doing all the painting on that.
D'Angelo has been doing this for 10 years. When she's not painting Oscars, she can be seen painting SAG Awards as well as helping out at Miss Universe pageants around the world. Up until the day of the show, the Oscar statues seem to get more attention than the stars. Back to you, Anna Rittis and Kayla.
Thanks, Chad. It is evident that the biggest night in Hollywood attracts press from all over the world.
Reporters who cover the Oscars spend months preparing to make sure they know everything about everyone who comes down the red carpet.
Brittany Berkowitz talked with some of the most famous faces in entertainment reporting. Brittany?
Award season isn't just for the stars. Some industry professionals gave me the inside scoop about what it takes to cover such a high-profile event.
Preparations for the Oscars are far greater than for any other award show, period, end of story. It takes many rehearsals. I'm doing the pre-show for ABC. We've had many rehearsals. We'll have more tomorrow just before the show, so it's pretty intense.
I guess you ramp it up a little bit before every red carpet event that you're going to work, that you're going to be interviewing a ton of stars, because it's unexpected.
In addition to bringing their A game to the red carpet, the reporters are most concerned about where they will stand to interview the stars.
Location is very important. I mean, I have the premier spot on the Oscar red carpet this year. I don't think I've ever had a better spot in my life.
To stay on top of the Oscars coverage, the entertainment professionals have to follow the films.
You basically start preparing when those good movies come out,
in the fall. You see all the good movies, that's for starters. And Oscar prep starts around the end of September, beginning of October. You go to the various events, the pre-shows, the various award shows leading up to this one, and you interview as many stars as possible so you don't have to find those stars on Oscar week when it's impossible.
While it takes months to get ready for the entertainment event of the year, the day of Oscar Sunday itself is filled with just as much hustle and bustle.
7:45 car pickup, 8:45 call time at the Kodak Theater, 9 a.m. rehearsal till noon. Hair and makeup from noon to 2:15. 2:15 walk the red carpet. 2:30 call time here. 3 o'clock we start we start pre-taping some interviews. 4 o'clock live show starts till 5:30. Then I'm done.
Even though there's no rest for the reporters, the moments they capture on the red carpet can be as entertaining as the movies they report on.
I was there, this was some years ago, and we got locked upstairs, and I was due for CNN downstairs on live TV. And we got locked up, and I was desperate, and I saw way down the corridor an elevator open up, and I raced and raced and raced all the way, hold the elevator like a madman. And as I got to the lip of the elevator, I tripped, fell, and looked up at Elizabeth Taylor. And she was wearing the diamond right there, the one that Burton gave her, the big one. And she just looked at me and said, "Sandy, where's the fire?"
These journalists eat, sleep, and breathe the entertainment industry, especially during Oscar season. Back to you, Anna Rittis and Kayla.
Thanks, Brittany. It's almost time for the show, so stay in your seats because we'll have more from the red carpet.
And we'll show you what the stars have to say about their Oscar wins after the break.
Shutting off. This one is one that they have fanned. There's a great deal.
Welcome back to WEBN's All Access Oscar Special. The stars have lined the red carpet, and we are ready to see who is going to be taking home the golden statue.
We've been flying all over the country, and now we're heading to Staten Island to visit some fifth graders. I had the chance to sing with the PS22 Chorus members in their school auditorium. The students have been practicing their big debut at the Kodak Theater. Take a look.
Mr. B! Mr. B! Mr. B!
Staten Island is going Hollywood, and Mr. B is their golden ticket. Greg Breinberg, or as the fifth graders call him, Mr. B, is behind the voices of the PS22 Chorus.
I knew from the get-go that there was something special about what was going on in this auditorium. I used to say for years, they're like the best kept secret in Staten Island, and it's kind of cool that the secret's out in such a big way.
This Staten Island secret is going on a field trip of a lifetime. They will wave their parents goodbye and say hello to Tinseltown, where they'll perform at the Oscars.
I thought it was unreal. I couldn't believe it. I never thought for a minute that we'd be allowed to do it. I was convinced that, the Department of Education would nix it, because this is a huge endeavor bringing 65 kids out to LA. But lo and behold, they got behind this and are supporting it 100%. And, we're gonna make this happen one way or another.
The dreams they dare to dream really are coming true. Anne Hathaway surprised them with an Oscar invitation, and the Academy chose Somewhere Over the Rainbow for their big debut.
The kids reacted as expected. I knew they would go nuts. They, you know what the thing is about these kids? It's like, it's all in the delivery. It's like, I can say, guys, guess what? We're gonna sing at the dentist, and they'll be super thrilled and psyched.
The fifth graders will put their own spin on the typical red carpet attire.
I think I want to wear my chorus shirt. It represents us.
And after the red carpet is rolled up, there is only one thing on the minds of the PS22 Chorus: a slumber party.
The part that I can't wait for is to sleep in the same room with my friends.
The fifth graders may be most excited about their slumber party, but once they walk the red carpet, their lives will be changed forever.
The PS22 Chorus students are just so cute. They jet set it from across the country, just like many of the fans on the bleachers here today. Our videographer, Zach Kusan, interviewed some of the fans who will go to the extreme to get a front row seat. Zach?
That's true. These fans have gone through great lengths to see their favorite stars walk the red carpet. We call them the Bleacher Creatures. We all know just how popular the celebrities are who walk the red carpet, but they would be nothing if it weren't for the millions of people who cheer for them. Every year, the Academy gives 700 people the opportunity of a lifetime.
We're going to the Oscars. I'm like, shut up. Yeah, we're going. Go and get your passport picture. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow.
Everything was in caps. Go get it ASAP.
For most, this seemed like it was too good to be true.
It was very, very exciting. I thought it was like a scam, and then we got the email saying to get our passport pictures done, and now we're here. we entered an online drawing and we thought it was a joke.
Right.
And I did it anyway,
Yeah.
thinking I would just get tons of spam and my email address would be totally spammed, and then they sent you an email saying you actually got 2 seats.
To be one of the bleacher creatures, you have to send an email to the Academy. You are then placed in a lottery system. If you're lucky enough, you win a seat to the arrivals of the Academy Awards. Some try for years before they are finally selected.
Well, they won on the internet and won the lotto. I've been trying for the last 15 years to get on this.
Despite the fact that hundreds of celebrities are here, everyone has that special someone they're hoping to see.
Anne Hathaway. Mark Wahlberg.
Colin Firth. Christian Bale.
Toss-up between Matt Damon and Bradley Cooper. Megan Fox. Tom Hanks.
The bleacher creatures have their voices and cameras ready. They're hoping their favorite celebrities will wave at them. Back to you, Kayla and Anaritis.
The votes have been cast and the winners have been chosen, but those who know will never tell. That is until tonight, of course.
Only 2 people in the world know who will be taking Oscar home. Chad Boyle spoke with 2 accountants from PricewaterhouseCoopers. Chad?
Days in advance, they know the winners, but their lips are sealed. Brad Oltman's and Rick Rosa's are the Academy's best-kept secret.
Rick and I completed the ballot counting on Friday, and so we've known the results since Friday afternoon, and only 2 people in the world who do, and we'll keep those results secret until they're read on air tomorrow night.
We work with a very small team of other accountants in a manner such that Brad and I do the final tallies for every category so that only he and I know who wins. The votes are counted individually by hand for every category, and then we take those results. We're responsible for putting the envelopes together for the show, and then we lock everything away in a secure location until we pull it out Sunday night.
This is Brad's 7th and Rick's 10th Oscar ceremony, so they've had some practice in keeping their lips sealed.
Yeah, it's really easy. We just don't breathe a word to anyone. We don't bat our eyes or anything. It's just keep it completely confidential. And people who know us and know that we do this, they know that we take this seriously, and so it's all just in good fun.
For 77 years, PricewaterhouseCoopers has done the ballot counting. Back to you, Kayla and Anaritis.
Thanks, Chad. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, the winners' reactions.
Victoria Berglund was in the press room where it all went down. Victoria?
I saw the winners right after their acceptance speeches. Even after 83 years, the excitement of winning an Oscar never fades.
I think we always, from the point that we invested in the project right at its inception, you know, from the point of the script, we had faith in the story and David Seidler's telling of it, you know, and these campaigns run and they peak and they trough, but we never lost any faith with the film that we had.
The Academy governors had faith too. This year's Oscars recognized The King's Speech as one of the top movies of the year. It took home 4 wins. The film won for directing, original screenplay, best actor in a leading role, and the top honor of best picture. After accepting their Oscar, the film's producers went to the press room where I was able to ask them a question.
Victoria Berglund, WEBN Boston. So with such a close race this year, how were you feeling before your name was announced?
I think we were incredibly nervous all the way through. Obviously, when Tom Hooper won the directing award, that increased our nerves because it felt like it was looking more likely.
I mean, the sort of strange irony of it all is that we probably, amongst other things, really wanted to do this project because we hated public speaking, and the irony is that the pressure was on in the most public speaking event in the world.
Someone who had no problem with speaking publicly about the impact of the film was Colin Firth, who took home Best Actor award.
It just shines a light on something which badly needed it.
It was a night of honor, the Academy honoring the outstanding films of the year, as well as the actors and actresses honoring their characters. Best Actress Natalie Portman described her perspective of her character, Nina, in Black Swan.
I really see it as this young woman's coming of age, and that she becomes a woman. She starts out a girl and becomes a woman by finding her own artistic voice and sort of killing the child's version of herself.
Melissa Leo plays an on-screen mother of 2 boxers from Lowell, Massachusetts. She took home the Supporting Actress Award. Leo mentioned the impact of shooting the movie where it all took place.
And we were right there in the town, hearing the gossip and hearing the language and the dialect and all of that. It was very, very helpful to the process.
Now that the golden statues have been handed out, the Oscar winners are looking forward to taking a break.
I think I'm going to cook a lot.
Staying in bed and not having to do my makeup or hair and keeping my sweats on.
Whether they went home with an Oscar in hand or not, this year's Academy Awards recognize the best of the best in the movie business. Back to you.
Thanks, Victoria. There are no more awards to be handed out, so it's time for the stars to clear their seats and head to the after party.
The red carpet is about to be rolled up, so we are out of here too.
We hope you enjoyed WEBN's all-access Oscar special as much as we did.
We'll see you next year at the Oscars.